Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about rights. As members of a democratic country, we speak of right to vote, the right to form political parties, right to contest elections and so on. Apart from the generally accepted political and civil rights, people today are also making new demands for rights such as the right to information, right to clean air, or the right to safe drinking water. A question that comes to our mind is, for whom are these rights? Rights may be claimed not only for adult human beings, but also for children, unborn fetuses, and even animals. Here, we will explore what do we mean when we speak of rights? What is the basis on which rights are claimed? What purpose do rights serve? And why are they so important? What are rights? A right is essentially an entitlement or a justified claim. Claims that I, along with others, regard to be necessary for leading a life of respect and dignity. For example, take the right to express ourselves freely. This right gives us the opportunity to be creative and original, whether it be in writing or dance or music or any other creative activity. However, if an activity is injurious to our health and well-being, it cannot be claimed as a right. In terms of our definition of rights, smoking or taking banned drugs cannot be claimed as a right. In the 17th and the 18th centuries, political theorists argued that the rights are given to us by nature or God. The rights of man were derived from natural law. This meant that rights were not conferred by a ruler or a society, rather we are born with them. They identify three natural rights of man: the right to life, liberty, and property. In recent years, the term human rights is being used more than the term natural rights. Rights are increasingly seen as guarantees that human beings themselves seek to arrive at in order to lead a minimally good life. The list of human rights which people have claimed has expanded over the years as societies face new threats and challenges. For instance, we are very conscious today of the need to protect the natural environment, and this has generated demands for rights to clean air, water, sustainable development, etc. The legal rights in the state. The success of the claims depends on a number of factors, most important of which is the support of governments and the law. This is why so much importance is placed on the legal recognitions of rights. A Bill of Rights is enshrined in the constitutions of many countries. Constitutions represent the highest law of the land, and so constitutional recognition of rights gives them a primary importance. In our country, we call them fundamental rights. Other laws and policies are supposed to respect the rights granted in the Constitution. Let's discuss about the various kinds of rights. Political rights are supplemented by civil liberties that refers to the right to a free and fair trial, the right to express one's views freely, the right to protest and express dissent. Collectively, civil liberties and political rights form the basis of a democratic system of government. However, our rights of political participation can only be exercised fully when our basic needs of food, shelter, clothing, health are met. Democratic societies are beginning to recognize these obligations and providing economic rights. In India, the government has recently introduced a rural employment guarantee scheme to help the poor. In addition to political and economic rights, more and more democracies are recognizing the cultural claims of their citizens. The right to have primary education in one's mother tongue, the right to establish institutions for teaching one's language and culture are today recognized as being necessary for leading a good life. Rights come with responsibilities. Rights not only place obligations upon the state to act in a certain way, for instance, to ensure sustainable development, but they also place obligations upon each one of us. They compel us to think not just of our own personal needs and interests, but to defend some things as being good for all of us. Rights require that I respect the rights of others. If I say that I must be given the right to express my views, I must also grant the same right to others. We must balance our rights when they come into conflict. For instance, my right to freedom of expression allows me to take pictures. However, if I take pictures of a person batting in his house without his consent and post the video on internet, that would be a violation of his right to privacy.
There has to be vigilance of citizens about limitations placed on the right. Many governments are imposing on the civil liberties of citizens on the grounds of national security. Protecting national security may be defended as necessary for safeguarding the rights and well-being of citizens.
There arise some questions. At what point could the restrictions imposed as necessary for security themselves become a threat to the rights of people? Should a country facing the threat of terrorist bombings be allowed to curtail the liberty of citizens? Should it be allowed to arrest people on mere suspicion? Should it be allowed to intercept their mail or tap their phones? Should it be allowed to use torture to extract confession? In such situations, the question to ask is whether the person concerned poses an imminent threat to society or not. Even arrested persons should be allowed legal counsel and the opportunity to present their case before a magistrate or a court of law. We need to be extremely cautious about giving governments powers, which could be used to curtail the civil liberties of individuals, for such powers can be misused. Governments can become authoritarian and undermine the very reasons for which governments exist, namely the well-being of the members of the state. Even though rights can never be absolute, we need to be vigilant in protecting our rights and those of others, for they form the basis of a democratic society. Well, I hope the video was fruitful for you. I'll see you later. Thank you very much.